Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Mark sent me an update to a story, and I always say at the end of a story that, hey, as soon as I learn more, I will update you. And so people will often send a note along and say, hey, Steve, somebody updated this story in the news, and so you can now update us. So I appreciate that very much because I don't have time to always watch all these different news sources from around the country. And this one got by me. So Mark, thank you very much. The story is off of NBCnews.com. Alicia Fieldstadt wrote it. And you will recall that there was a fad that lasted about 3 seconds. In internet time, of course, that's 1.5 seconds. But people were opening up things of ice cream and licking the ice cream and then putting the lids back on and putting them back on the shelves. And they were then filming themselves doing this and posting the videos on the internet as some weird, twisted way of getting attention, as if in the age of social media, it's a good thing to be licking ice cream and putting it back on the shelves. And of course, it's an idiotic thing. It's actually illegal. Besides the fact that you are damaging merchandise in a store, the fact that you're licking it is kind of a gross thing and could be treated as some kind of tampering. Because obviously, and I understand it's a stretch to say it could actually happen, but theoretically somebody with, a dread disease could lick the ice cream and someone else could eat the ice cream and theoretically get sick from that, and that wouldn't be good. But the idea really is just simply this, is that it's damaging the merchandise of a store, and that's not good. So a Texas man who partook in the viral trend of licking ice cream in cartons of Bluebell and placing them back in grocery store freezers has pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge. And this is one of these things where, I had a law professor once who was talking about, it's very, very complicated, but a law that was so easy to not break that he said, this is actually a trap for the stupid. A trap for the stupid. And I will credit that to George Kniprath, Professor Kniprath, who is one of the most brilliant professors I've ever known of. And he was describing something that was having to do with the trading of securities that was so easy to avoid breaking that he said, this is a trap for the stupid. So the idea of filming yourself breaking the law and putting it on social media would appear to also be a trap for the stupid. So the man who did this got caught. How? Because he videotaped himself doing it and put it on the internet. I don't know why people were choosing Bluebell. And Bluebell, I understand, is a delicacy. Now, I will admit, I don't think I've ever had Bluebell ice cream. I don't think it's available where I live. I'd have to take a look. I know it's a more common thing down south, apparently. And it may have had to do with how Bluebell cartons were sealed. I can tell you right now that the ice cream I buy, and yes, I do partake of ice cream, has a plastic extra seal around the top so that to get into it, you've got to pry this little plastic band off and then pry the lid off. And once you've done that, it would be obvious it had been tampered with. And someone told me that some Bluebell ice cream, at least when this first happened, didn't have that extra tamper-proof seal around the outside. So if true, that might be why they're choosing Bluebell. Or it may just simply be that Bluebell tastes so good. It's possible. A video posted to social media in August showed the man running his tongue in a circular motion, which apparently is important to the story, around the top of a tub of Bluebell before sticking his finger in it to get a bigger taste and then licking it again. He put it back into the freezer at a Port Arthur Walmart. And this, again, is happening in Texas. The man's name is Anderson, and he pled guilty on Wednesday, or pleaded, as they claim is correct. I like pled, but the dictionaries claim I'm wrong on that. And he pleaded guilty to criminal mischief. And this has been reported by an NBC affiliate, WOAI, out of San Antonio, Texas. Police said that Anderson was the man responsible. Port Arthur Police Department Detective Michael Hubert told NBC News that Anderson admitted that he did this as a stunt, but then he went back in and purchased it. Police visited the store and verified he did, in fact, purchase a container, but Walmart had already spent money to replace its inventory of ice cream due to the widely seen video. So that's an interesting angle here. If the guy did this and then bought the ice cream as he walked out the door, technically it's not yours till you pay for it. So you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. And I know people are going to tell me, they're going to say, Steve, you're walking to the store and you eat something and you pay for the wrapper when you get to the counter. I know people who've done that. I've also seen people eat something in the store and just take the wrapper and toss it. I've also seen someone picking through the grapes and just sampling them before they decide which group they're going to buy. I may have told a story before. I was at a supermarket and asked the produce manager about whether they had any grapes. I was looking for grapes. And he said, yes, we do. And the produce manager went back and came back out with grapes. And I said, great. And as I was talking to the man, making small talk, I made the joke about people picking the grapes. And he rolled his eyes and he goes, dude, that's not the worst of it. I go, what is? And this supermarket actually had this thing. It looked like a salad bar, but it was actually for olives. And they had olives that you were supposed to get a container and you use a scoop and scoop olives out of these little tubs. And it actually had the sneeze guard over it like a salad bar. So if you want to sneeze in this, you got to stick your head underneath there. But and you're supposed to just take the olives and you weigh it and you pay based on the weight. The guy said, he goes, about once a week, someone will come in here, reach in with their bare hand, put an olive in their mouth, and get the pit out of it and just drop it back in the thing and walk away. And he goes, when they do that, we got to go over and dump the whole thing out and start over again. And I remember at the time thinking, what a stupid thing to have. Why do you have olives being sold that way? But that's what people do. So if you're dealing with people walking up the street and get to handle the merchandise themselves, which is true at almost every grocery store in North America, I would assume, you're going to have issues. But the issue of somebody licking the ice cream and pretending to put it back on the shelf, whether they put it back or not, is going to cause problems because the store's got to do something about this. If they don't, you can imagine what would happen then. So the video he posted was part of a viral trend, like I said, about 3 seconds, in which people filmed themselves licking Bluebell ice cream and putting the contaminated containers back on the shelves. And yes, they are contaminated because I don't want you licking the ice cream before I eat it. It's contaminated. Bluebell Creameries is based in Texas and is popular in the South. Texas Governor Greg Abbott actually took to social media to poke fun at this viral trend. And there was actually also on social media, somebody had posted a photograph of some police officers standing in front of a freezer guarding the Bluebell ice cream. Again, kind of a lighthearted poke at all of this. But it's an idiotic thing to do. And there are several examples in the news of people who had done this and had gotten busted for it. And like I said, it's a trap for the stupid. The people who film themselves doing something illegal. And by the way, I just realized earlier I said video and now I said film. I will get at least 2 or 3 people who are going to comment and say, Steve, there's no such thing as film anymore. This is all being done digitally. And someone else is going to say, earlier you said videotape, and there's no such thing as videotape anymore. I'm just pointing it out so that when you comment now, you're commenting on something that I called you on, so I'm not sure why you'd point it out. But people will still point it out. I digress. But it's a trap for the stupid. It's a trap for the stupid. So if you film yourself breaking the law and post the video on the internet, you deserve to have bad things happen to you. And I would argue that as a judge, I mentioned before, would I be more harsh on a police officer who's before me? And I think I would be. If I was the judge, I think I'd also be more harsh on somebody who does something that's stupid. It's kind of like, how are you going to learn? So there you go. But yes, at least one of the people who was licking the ice cream, as they say, which is not a euphemism, strangely enough, has been punished by the courts after he pleaded guilty to doing same. Questions, comments, put them below. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Can we talk again about how pretty I am?